You have the ring. And I see your Schwartz is as big as mine. Now let's see how well you handle it.
Welcome back to Thinking Critical. This is Wes, and today I've got to talk about a new series from Aftershock Comics. The second issue released today on Wednesday, November 18th, I guess it is. It's called We Live. It's from the Miranda brothers, Inaki and Roy Miranda, with Eva de la Cruz as a color artist. And I must say, I was pleasantly surprised by this comic. I wasn't really going to read it because I saw the cover. This is the cover image here on the left, or on the right, and it kind of looks like a kid's comic. And I do read kids comics. I have a 5-year-old in the house, but I've found that my 5-year-old gets rather grumpy if he reads a comic that he likes, and there isn't another issue or two to read. So I typically will hold off on these and read them later. And if it's good, I'll read it with him. Got to make sure it's good. But my good friend Perch was like, man, you need to read that comic. It was excellent. I've been kind of swamped. I finally got to read the first 2 issues today because this is when they released. And I was blown away. I was like, I've got to talk about this comic. I do not talk about enough amazing comics here on the channel. I do review a lot of the good stuff from the big two, but certainly not enough independent comics. So this from Aftershock, like I said, I was blown away. This is like a science fiction, dystopian future fantasy quest style comic, and it was really excellent. What makes it great are the characters and the character moments that you get. The setting and everything, which I'm going to get to in a second, is very well constructed, well conceived, well executed. But it's really the characters that have brought me in. And I'm definitely going to be seeing this comic book through to the end because I am totally in love with Hatat and his sister, and I think the other character is Hatomo. And just such a good comic book. And I hope if you haven't read this, I'm not going to get into major spoilers here. I'm going to talk about kind of the setting, the setup to the quest that they're on. I'm going to talk about the characters and why I like them. Then I'm going to talk about one of the reveals that you do get. But there are a lot of big moments in this comic book. So I don't want to spoil it for people that haven't read it. I imagine We Live, I believe, is one of the better selling Aftershock comics ever. But still, it's probably doesn't have the distribution of obviously the big two, or even a lot of what we're seeing from Boom or Image right now. So hopefully, if you haven't read this and you say this, go out and read this comic book. Get the first 2 issues, you're going to love it. Now, before I get into the details, I do want to say, if you enjoy this video, you enjoy the channel, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, give me a thumbs up. If you want more stuff like this, you want more great independent comic, this isn't so much a review, just kind of like an overview of why it's good. Give me a thumbs down if you want less independent comic material here on the channel. I always appreciate the feedback. Now, getting into it, they do a very good job. Inaki Miranda and Roy Miranda are the writers, they're brothers. Inaki Miranda has been in the industry, I believe, for I think over a decade. He's done a lot of work. He's an artist and a writer. His brother Roy, I guess he was more into the music scene. I think he might be a singer with a few groups, might be like a dancer and stuff like that. But they are co-writing this. Inaki is the illustrator, and it's a very well illustrated comic book. And really one of the unsung heroes, well, not unsung heroes, but really one of the creators that brings all the life and vibrancy to this is Eva de la Cruz, who is the color artist. You'll see that as we go through. I'm not going to show a lot of images, but you'll see the very vibrant, popping colors that are on the children themselves that we're introduced to and made to care for very, very rapidly. So the setup is on Earth a long while ago. There were a lot of natural disasters. There were hurricanes, biblical floods, electromagnetic storms, earthquakes, all that kind of stuff came out of it. And out of that, it reshaped the Earth, and all these ferocious beasts were like evolved or mutated, and all of a sudden they were like man-eaters. And I believe 90% of all humans were wiped out between all the natural disasters, the animals that turned into man-eaters, and then there was something called the Rumble War. It sounds like a World War, Civil War, where they had like mech suits and they were fighting each other. And after that, 90% of all of humanity was lost. The Earth was reshaped. You can see it right there in the map. I love it when they have maps. And there's some extra maps on here I'm not going to show you because they would give away too many spoilers for what's actually going on here. And we find out that there's these 9 megalopolis cities where most of humanity resides. And then on the outskirts, there are settlements called Enduro villages where people, families, towns that aren't in these mega cities reside. And we find out they get a message from the stars from some aliens. This is what the aliens had to say. Humans, you face extinction. You will suffer a new attack from nature. This time it will be definitive. You will not survive. We offer you a way out. 5,000 rescue bracelets for 5,000 children. The rescue will take place at the 9 designated extraction beacons when the countdown reaches 0. Good destiny. And we find out there's 5 days until the countdown is over. And these 9 beacons are all located within the megalopolis cities. And this man in the glasses, he is going out to the Enduro villages to find the children that have the bracelets, and he's taking them and one companion on a quest to get to their beacon, so they can be rescued by the aliens. And that is essentially sets up the story, but it does. You don't get all the information. You get some hints of what's coming, and I'm not going to break it all down for you. But it's very exciting. Very frightful. It's a new world. But the thing about it that really draws me in, and what Inaki and Roy have really done here, is they have made not only a vibrant, cool setting, with clear goals, obstacles, a lot of things to overcome on their quest, but it's the characters, specifically the 3 main children, that really make this story work very well. The first one we meet, his name is Hitoto. He's kind of in this costume. It's very bright. He's got like a helmet on, and he's having a superhero fight. And he does have a bracelet. You can see it right there. And he has a companion. Someone's going to go along with him, and his companion is his sister, and she is not very old. You can see her right. Where is she? Oh, she's sitting by him. She's standing here. She's standing here. I thought she was in this picture too. She probably is. Just can't say it because the microphone's in the way. But so his sister is with him. So obviously there's something has happened to his parents. But most likely something has happened to his parents. And when they get into the transport vehicle that the old man is driving, they go and they meet this other kid. His name is Humbo. And I believe the sister's name is Tala, if I didn't mention that already. And they meet Humbo, who's being escorted by Alice, what appears to be an enormous robot. And like I said, he's really bright, and this kid's pretty cool. I don't normally like super smart engineer techie kids because they're often presented as like paragons in comic books. Now, he certainly is very advanced, and he knows a lot about technology. In fact, Hototo's helmet breaks, and he goes and fixes it, and we can see what's happening. Like when it's turned on, Hototo does not see the world for what it is. Like when he's looking at his sister Tala and Alice here, what he's really seeing through his mask are like penguins, not penguins, pandas, samurai pandas. So that's kind of what he's saying. And when things are happening, he's seeing the world through like a completely different perspective, a different point of view. And I'll get into why that's really important here in a moment. It's a big character element. But we do know the sister, Tala, she does not have a bracelet. So she is taking or escorting her little brother on this bus. They're going to go to the beacon. He's going to be rescued, and she's going to be left behind. And as well as with Alice, the giant robot escort for Humbo. And he says at one point, when we leave, Alice will protect you. I'll make sure that happens. He's very strong, I believe is what he said. And it turns out things are very dangerous. This escort goes awry, and they're on foot, and you find out just how dangerous this new setting, this new world, this new Earth that they're in is as they're trying to travel to the beacon. Obviously, there's a countdown. They have like 5 days left, I believe, when this story is over. I'm not going to show anything from the second issue. This is all from the very, very opening series. What we're getting in these stories also is flashbacks for as far as character motivations and to kind of fill in the gaps on why some of these things are happening in the story. We the second issue, we find out what Humbo and Alice are all about. In the first issue, and this is one of the minor spoilers I'll give, we do find out about this outfit here and why Tala is escorting Hototo and not his parents. You can see Hototo has the rescue bracelet, and their mother is on her deathbed. You find out essentially their father has already passed. And her mother is like, you need to take Hototo. He's been blessed. He has the bracelet, and you need to save him. You know, and this is what her mom says. Don't let my death frighten you, Tala, nor the knowledge of your own, nor the knowledge of your own. You are special. Never forget that. It shatters me inside to know what awaits you and what you are going to live through. It tears me apart. But you are me now, meaning you're the mother now, because I'm passing away. You proved that when you found the bracelet and put it on your brother. So she discovered the bracelet, and she freely gave it to her little brother, even though it would have rescued her. Very, very selfless act. I like that a lot. Now it's your turn to create a world filled with love and hope, even if that world is dying. Don't allow Hototo's world to die too. Life has given him a new future that you must protect. Try to keep him unaware of what's awaiting him. Feed his fantasy until the last seconds. Promise me you will. And she says, I will. And she can see she constructed this superhero outfit called Super Hototo. So because she doesn't want him to experience the world as dangerous and kind of vile as it is. She's honoring her mother's last wish that she's going to get her brother to the beacon, and he's not going to see everything for what it is. He's still going to have his childlike fantasies that the world is safe and fun and not everything has gone to crap. And you can see the two crosses here signifying that the mother has passed on at this point along with the father. And when he asks her about his superhero symbol, he says, can you tell me about the symbol again? I like it a lot. And I thought this was very good. Very touching. You know, as a parent, this is very touching. I'll be surprised if the Miranda brothers don't have kids of their own. Okay, this big outside circle here is you. Though you are now small, once you turn into a superhero, you'll be big and strong, and you will protect us all and will never feel fear. The middle circle is me. I'll always be inside you wherever you go, so you can talk to me whenever you can't see me. And the smallest circle here is from mom and dad, because they are our heart and will always tell us what's right and wrong if we ask them, always, even though they're no longer with them. So it's a very touching story. It is a quest. It's a sci-fi dystopian future. There are, I guess, a little bit of superhero elements. I almost hope he does become a superhero by the end, but we shall see. I don't know if this story ends when they get rescued, or are we going to learn that maybe this rescue mission was more of a ruse or something like that. It's very interesting. There's a lot of endless possibilities with this story, but the setup is fantastic, but it's the characters. It's always the characters that really drive me in and the character moments. This one right here I thought was really special, and I really enjoyed it. So I have bought into Hototo, to Tala, and what's his name? Hotep? Humbo, my bad. And Humbo. So excellent comic book. The second issue's out today. I hope you go and get it. If you haven't read it yet, you're going to want to read We Live #1 and #2 from Aftershock Comics, the Miranda brothers, with Eva De La Cruz on the colors. She does a wonderful job as the color artist. Really bright, vibrant colors on the children, as if they're the hope for the future generations as the rest of the world has gone to kind of crap and is decayed and is essentially dying. And I think it was really effective. I can't name anything about this I didn't like. This is like, issue 1 is definitely like a 5-star comic, highest recommendation. Issue 2 is like probably 4.5 5-star comic, highest recommendation. I really enjoyed them. I think you will as well. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you later.
If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. I would appreciate it very much. It helps us attract more views for the channel. Subscribe for future commentary, comic book news, and reviews. And don't forget to ring the bell for notifications. If you want to talk comics, movies, and much, much more, you can follow me on Twitter at Wes_from_TC. With that, Salamat Po, and I'm out.